news for you.
What's that?
You won an award.
Have I? Okay, thank you.
You may recognise Kevin because you may have seen him around, and there's a very, very good reason for it, because on the front of the car that he owns is the registration ST1.
It's from the Saint,
Yes.
and it's the sole survivor of the 3 cars that Roger Moore used.
Yeah.
And this one appeared in the very first episode.
This was the very first, when it was called the Talented Husband.
That's right,
yeah.
yes. This is its original registration number, so 71 DXC.
Yeah.
But everybody knows the car as being ST1.
yeah.
Yes. Obviously, it's the only surviving car that Roger Moore used in the Saint.
It's a wonderful, wonderful honour to be sitting here in the car that Roger Moore sat in when they were filming The Saint back in the 1960s, and this was the very first car that appeared in the Saint series. This is 71 DXC. In the actual episodes, it was ST1. That was the registration number of the car. I think Kevin's story of rescuing this car from where it was in North Wales is one that really is brilliant. So this, Kevin, is the P1800, isn't it?
Yeah, this one built by Jensen's at West Bromwich. When Volvo designed the car,
Yeah.
They hadn't got anyone to build it. So they looked for a company to build the car. They originally contacted Carman. Volkswagen told them that they couldn't build for Volvo because if they did, they wouldn't have the gear. So,
Right.
so the search was on for someone else, and so they got Jensen's in West Bromwich to build them.
Yeah.
Although the body shells were made by Press Steel in Scotland, so
Right.
it's a pretty international car, really.
Right.
But it's also very rare that it's a white 1800 that was built at Jensen's. They haven't survived very well.
No, because there was 3, I think, weren't there?
There were 3 in the TV series, and this,
Yeah.
I say, was the very first one.
Yeah.
Johnny Goodman, who was the producer, wanted to use a Jag. And Roger wanted a Jag because he wanted a Mark 10. People say he wanted an E-Type, but actually it was a Mark 10 they wanted.
Okay.
So they got out of Jaguar, and Jaguar told them to go away. You know, they
weren't interested, were
weren't
they?
interested. So a chap called Malcolm Christopher, who was the one of the art directors, he had seen that this car had been just launched by Volvo and thought it was a good idea. And Roger saw pictures of it and thought it was a really good car. So they went to the Volvo dealership in Mayfair. This was the demonstrator. So
I mean, how it must have felt to see a car like that back then, you know, because the lines and the designs and everything. And you can see why, Roger Moore went for this car.
Well, ST1 was never actually on the car itself. They've all got their original registration on it.
And this one's 71 DXC, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, so this was a British-built one, and there was there were some problems with the build quality of the early cars. So Volvo realised how lucrative it was to have one of their cars on the telly every week. So so the second car, which was one like this one, which was a 65 car, that was supplied by Volvo. So this one they bought. The film company it is the only one that they actually bought. Yeah. And this one was then the registration of the second car was 77 GYL.
Yes. Right.
Again, they used ST1 just for filming. And then finally, it went to the one with the mini lights on, which is the last one, which is again, this is a replica of with the spotlights. Yeah. And that was NUV 647E.
Yes. That was the very final one, wasn't it? That was used.
Yeah. And there's they gave Roger Moore one as well, which is NUV 648E. Right. And that's the one that's in the Volvo Museum now.
Ah, okay.
So it's not actually a Saint car, although it's displayed as a Saint car, but it was never a film car.
Never a film car, yeah.
So everybody thinks that the cowl-on bumpers on the front means that it's a Jensen-built one, but they used the bumpers for a couple of years after Jensen's finished.
Right, okay.
So in the heavy grille and what they call the heavy side trim and the hockey sticks.
Yeah.
That denotes an early car.
Okay.
So they kept this heavy trim on the sides to 66.
You can really see that, can't you? It's quite pronounced.
And then obviously the accountants got involved and they decided they would put the lighter trim on them and save money and the lighter grills.
Yeah. Yes, it's a beautiful car. But Kevin, there must surely have been a reason why you got this.
I was a Ford man. I was into Cortinas, and my uncle was the transport manager of a local coach firm.
Yeah.
And between going from engineering to teaching, I drove coaches.
Right.
And we went out to a place called Ditton Priors on one of the runs, and there was a rusty sports car on this car park. And I just fell in love with the shape of it. It was nothing. It could have been anything. So my uncle was a Volvo nut, and I was saying to him about this Volvo. Sorry, this car that was on the car park at Ditton Priors.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, it's a Volvo." And I said, "No, it's never a Volvo. It's too stylish to be a Volvo."
Yeah.
And so that's how it all started, really. I bought the first one out of Exchange and Mart, and that was a white one as well. And then because obviously there was a connection of Roger Moore and the car, I then started to look for the actual, the same cars, and at that time none of them had appeared to have survived, except for the Roger Moore car, which is his own car. In 1989, I set up the Volvo Enthusiast Club. Somebody out of the blue phoned the home. I was living in Cornwall and teaching in Cornwall then, and he said he got one of the same cars. And anybody that's got a white 1800 puts ST1 on it, it's the same car. But so I didn't take much notice, and he was quite persistent. And in the end, I went to have a look at it. And by that time, I'd done quite a lot of research, and I'd found out the chassis number of the Jensen-built one, because I was into the Jensen-built ones, in particular being the British-built ones and the rarest of them.
Sure.
And sure enough, when I went there, it was the car.
Wow.
But it was derelict. It was up the side of a barn. It was covered in brambles.
Oh, wow.
The engine was in bits inside the car.
Yeah.
The gearbox was in the boot, and it was in a really sorry state. It was actually had sunk into the ground.
Right.
And then that was 1991, and I finally bought it in 95.
Okay.
And then it was stored then till 2004.
Right.
Somebody had a go at starting to restore it, I think, and they just put some paint on it to stop. But one of the good things about the car was it hadn't ever been welded. It was still fairly complete. One of the disadvantages was the driver's window had been left down,
right.
So the interior was in quite a bad state. So, but the dash and all the clocks are all the original clocks. The steering wheel.
And they're still original.
Yeah. So they're still the original things. I
take it getting parts for this then to do that restoration job wasn't too difficult, because Volvo still makes some parts for this, don't they?
The only problem is the Jensen-built ones are very different to the later built ones.
Right,
so
okay.
the doors on a Jensen-built one won't fit the later cars.
Oh, really?
They'll only fit the first 6,000.
Is that purely because of the hockey stick and the
No,
paneling,
it's the shape of the door. The door is much thicker.
Okay.
And the shape of the door, it won't go in the hole.
Right.
They built 6,000 cars at Jensen's, and then they built another 2,000 using the same body shell.
Yeah.
And then after 8,000, it was a completely brand new shell.
Right.
Which is this shell. And then if you look at this one, this is actually lower. It's the floor pan is about an inch higher in the body.
So even though these cars look vastly similar, there are some fundamental differences.
There's quite a lot of differences.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you'd like to come round to the back, building the car, I started to put autographs of people who actually worked at Elstree Studios and worked on the car. And the first person I got was Paddy Petterson.
Ah, yes.
To sign it.
The designer.
The designer. He was at a show at the NEC in 2011 for the 60th birthday, and we were there with this. So I got him to sign it. So he was the first one, and then over the period of time I met various people who were involved with the Saint or at Elstree Studios. So you got people like Diana Rigg, William Gaunt, who's in the Champions, John Challis from Boise, Valerie Liam, Madeline Smith from Live and Let Die.
Oh, God, yes.
Quite a lot of people involved. And then you've got people like Johnny Goodman, who was the producer, Malcolm Christopher, the production manager. So when I actually finished it and put it on the road in 2012, 13, Roger sent me a signed photograph to Kevin with him stood next to this car in 62.
So all the history is sort of captured there, isn't it, in some respects, because you've got people who've left their moniker behind, people that were actually involved when this car was actually being televised.
Being used, yes.
Yeah.
This is its original registration number, so 71 DXC.
Yeah.
But everybody knows the car as being ST1.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, you see so many images of cars, if you Google or do anything like that, they all say ST1 on them. But there's only I think the people who know that there's actually really only one survivor that's still out there. Isn't it?
Yeah, this is the sole survivor of the three cars that we used. This one did everything, including inside shots. And Volvo also supplied 2 half shells so they could do internal shots. Yeah. So what we did to celebrate 60 years of the Saint, we had these 3 cars, which those 2 are reproductions of. to show how the series progressed.
Yeah. Quick look at the interior then.
Yeah, yes, yeah. This car cost £1,800 in '62, which was more than an E-Type.
That's a lot.
Even though they were built in Britain, they were still classed as a European car. But if somebody wanted a half-inch bolt, Volvo put a three-quarter bolt.
Exactly. It was,
and everything was
beefy,
over-engineered.
Yes.
So, as an engineer myself, design and research engineer, the factor of safety was always really, to the forefront.
They gave it importance, didn't they? And then everything else fits around that.
Yes.
And that's one thing you've got to say about Volvo.
Yes.
Is they pioneered that, haven't they, in some respects?
Well, they're still today. They're still one of the safest cars in the world. So
much technology you see on other cars actually, from a safety perspective, started with Volvo.
Yeah.
Seatbelts being obviously the obvious one.
The 1957. The introduction, and they gave that patent away. To the world.
Yeah. When you got this car, I take it all of the switchgear was still there,
all this is all original. All the switches are all original. All the gauges are all original.
Yeah.
The steering wheel's original. Gear knob.
Brilliant. And then you've got a temperature gauge just there.
A temperature gauge, and all the same cars had those, and they were in the they were put in there for the actors, so they knew what the temperature was inside when they were working.
And a fan.
And a fan, yes. There was a fan in the back that to keep them cool. It's not very clean. Obviously, the car is used. So
well, that's clean enough to me. I mean, it's not Concours, but it's not that far off, really, is it?
No.
A bit of bit and polish.
So, if you look over there, I don't know whether you can actually bring the camera over and see. There's two holes there. When I'd done the body work and I was having it painted, I wanted those. We were going to get those filled in.
Yeah.
And somebody came to look at the car who worked at Elstree, but I was actually building the car up, and he said, "Oh, don't do that." He said, "That's where we put the camera mount." To get the low shots through the windscreen of Roger.
Yeah, pretending to drive. Yeah.
So, and I say again, you can see here it's assembled in England.
Yes.
By Jensen Motors Limited.
Of course. This is one of the
full Volvo,
isn't it? So
full Volvo.
How tremendous! Look at that.
So twin engines and three-quarter SUs.
Yeah.
Girling brakes.
Yeah.
So it's a quite an international car.
It's tremendous underneath here because, I mean, obviously you restored the car.
I got some bad news for you.
What's that?
You won an award.
Have I? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
No, it's a club stand.
Oh, right, okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Well
thank
done.
you.
I'm not saying whether you won it or whether you second.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
They're giving me a good tip. I haven't got it down there.
Thank you very much. Okay.
As long as you don't mind, because you're going to end up on YouTube.
I'm not, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Good afternoon. Okay, right.
Yeah, thanks very much for that.
Sorry, I've
Thank
interfered with you.
No,
No,
that's
that's
fine.
all right.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
See you in a bit. What's interesting, the Jensens had the oil filler in the centre, whereas all the Volvo built ones had them on
the front.
the front.
Ah, right.
And also the Jensens had a different heater.
They were the same engine, I take it.
The same engine, well, basically the same engine, yes. So it's lots of differences, lots of little subtle differences with the Jensen built ones.
And I've been told you're the only one that knows all of this, can articulate all of this in a way that nobody else probably can. I am reliably informed.
I'm the guru there.
You are, the oracle.
Yeah, the oracle for the Jensen built ones.
Yeah, indeed.
But you can actually see how much rust was in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Which I wanted that purposely kept. Because I had it dipped. SPL at Dudley did the
You've kept some of that patina in there, haven't you? Yeah.
Did the dipping. I had the shell dipped.
Where does the car go next then? What's the plan? Is it going to continue doing what it's doing?
I'm going to continue to do. I want to try. I'm hoping to try and go to Sweden with it in 2027.
Right.
Volvo's 100 years old, and the idea is to drive to Sweden with it.
Yeah. Well, on our other channel, you will have recently, no doubt, seen the Volvo 940 Turbo with 506 brake horsepower from Emil. This is the polar opposite of that. Yes, it's a Volvo, but on the T-Junction Talk, what we have here is something quite unique. This is a Volvo P1800, which is as factory fresh as you could restore it to, I suppose.
Well, I tried to do it as near to original as I could. I've tried to use all the original parts from off the car. I had all the chrome trim straightened, and the bumpers are all the original bumpers, been re-chromed.
Yeah.
But basically, the car is the car. I try to keep as much of the car as possible. most people who actually do any write-ups on the 1800, they always say how futuristic the dolls were in the day.
Yeah.
You know, almost American. Well, it was built for the American market anyway.
Yeah.
And they've sort of, they're backlit blue, you know what I mean? And they're Smith's Instruments and Lucas.
But the thing is, it's very, very, how can I put it? Almost Thunderbirds look.
Yes, yes, supercar and those sort of things of the day. You know,
it's tremendous.
Jerry Anderson, Thunderbirdsy.
Yeah.
When I'd finished the car, Roger sent me a photograph of him with the car.
This very car, 71 DXC.
Yeah. To commemorate the car coming back on the road.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I did meet him with the car, so yes, he was lovely. Yeah.
The driving position in this car is absolutely sensational because I'm sat here so low in this car, and it's a wonderful driving position. Everything is sort of to hand. The bonnet, you can tell it's got a long bonnet that goes over the front. You're low slung. You have a wonderful steering wheel, which isn't adjustable, but it doesn't need to be because it feels so good. The heater controls and everything are so simple from this period. The clocks, the dials, I mean, even a temperature gauge. Can you believe that? It's brilliant. I mean, the dash and the dials and everything are just absolutely wonderful. I mean, look at that. It's got an overdrive switch here for a Laycock overdrive. All the switches are so tactile. There's a little bit of metal aluminium in here. Wonderful mirror in the middle. And the dials and everything, they look as if they're straight out of the Thunderbirds. It's the 1960s. That's where I am now. Cars are time machines. You sit inside them and it takes you back and transports you back to a place and a time that's gone. And the only place you can really get a sense of it is when you sit in a car like this. You smell it, you see it, you feel it. The switches, the buttons, the carpets, the seats, the leather. Everything just feels so incredible. And it's a wonderful, wonderful honour to be sitting here in the driving seat that Roger Moore himself sat in once. What a privilege. I'm delighted to say that there are two more P1800s here as well. We have alongside me Louise.
Hello there.
And Rob.
Hi.
Well, my husband bought it me in 1985. I've been asking for a car for quite a long time, something a bit different. And he said, come up to this garage, and there was the P1800 and the ES, which is the estate car.
Yep.
And I had a little ride in it, and I said, oh, I'll think about it. And I got home and I took one look at Robert and I said, yes, please.
My birthday was in February, but we bought it in September, but there you go.
He's a little bit late with birthdays.
Well, in actual fact, it's the first one. I've already bought her a Golf for her 70th birthday, so that's another story.
It's a family car, and the children obviously were in the back. And I didn't actually think it was anything different.
Did you know, though, that it was famous from the Saint? Or
yeah, we used to watch it all the time, and we still do.
You look at a car like this, and the first thing you think of is Roger Moore.
In fact, when they see the cardboard cutout, they say James Bond.
James Bond, yeah.
They do.
Wrong era, wrong decade, wrong car, isn't it? Same man.
So this was a family car, and I used it every day, shopping, taking the children to school and everything. At some point, the children grew, and unfortunately, it just was left for a little while.
They grew out of it.
So,
obviously, you've got no seat belts in the back, so... Yeah, I did some work on it in the 90s, and then I said in 2015, it won't be long before we retire, so I'll just strip the car, renovate it, and we'll do all the classic car shows, as many as we can do in a year.
The special thing is that my son's going to have the car when it comes to the point when we can't drive.
The one thing that, when I change gears on it, it feels proper mechanical machine. It's a proper machine with no cables or anything anywhere. It's all solid connections.
I've driven that one. It's a little bit better than this one. I don't know, I just like them. I don't know what it is. You take to a car, don't you? And you never leave it. I mean, having that for 40 years.
So I am actually going to be driving that car, the ST1, the original one from the Saints. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you really want to.
You're really honoured.
Privileged. Well, here we are with car number 3, and I'm delighted to welcome Keith.
Hello.
So Keith, you own the latest incarnation, because I think we've sort of been down the whole. Kevin's the very original one. We then have Rob's, which is and Louise's, which is sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Like the one that went to Sweden. So we've gone from Jensen to Sweden, and this was definitely Sweden.
This is
wasn't it?
definitely
It's
Sweden.
definitely Sweden.
Yeah. At the age of 13, I watched that one drive across my TV screen in black and white and said, want one. I just think it's a beautiful car, and
That it is.
I've, as I say, from the age of 13, thought when I can, I will get one. And as luck would have it, I was in my 20s, and I knew the person that owned this. He used to park it. We used to park in a garage when going to work. And I used to say to him, "What are you selling that? Sell that to me, will you?" And he used to avoid me. And eventually he rang me up one day and said, "Do you really, really want it?" And I said, "Yes." Yeah. So I bought it, 1978, which is
Oh, you've had it a long time then.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Wow, almost 50 years.
Yeah, I ran it day to day as a daily car.
Yep.
It then became a weekend car, and then it gradually got to the stage where it needed things doing to it, so it became a project car. And the result after the project, you see here.
Yeah, and it's stunning, honestly. It's absolutely wonderful. I mean, there are some subtle differences of this car compared to the other two that we've seen already. And there's a few that stand out to me, even with my untrained eye, shall we say. You've got what look like Hella lamps on it.
Yes, they are. And they're actually Volvo.
Volvo ones.
Yeah, but they're Volvo stamps, but yes.
Yeah, but they're sort of like Hella style
Yeah,
lamps.
that's right,
The
yeah.
grille, obviously, is very different.
Yeah.
Compared to the original one, you haven't got the horns.
The cow catchers,
The
that's
cow
right.
catchers,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
You haven't got those on this one.
The other obvious one is the running strip down the side.
Yes.
Which is a stainless steel straight strip.
Right.
Whereas on the two previous ones, it's thick chrome and it curves up. Yeah.
Yeah, or a boomerang or a hockey stick, I think
They call them hockey sticks.
Hockey sticks.
That's right.
In terms of valuation, does it make a difference which one? You know, if a viewer wanted to buy one of these.
That one, of course, because
Well,
of
that
its
one's very
history.
special.
But no, these are the same kind of thing. I mean, currently, they're talking about them being worth anything between 50 to 25, 30,000, depending on the condition that they're in.
Yeah.
If you want to buy one and do it up, you're going to the bottom end of that. If you want one like this, I mean, this is insured for £30,000, following an independent valuation. So that
Was it as good as they make out in terms of its reliability and its robustness?
Yes. You just put petrol in it, you topped up the water from time to time, and you just drove it.
Yeah.
When we came to rebuild it, we just decided we'd do the whole thing. We stripped it all down to bare metal. The carcass went to a body shop who produced this and painted it.
Right.
And then three of us, one professional and two keen amateurs, did the rest.
I was saying to Rob earlier, you know, when you're driving these cars, it's about anticipation, isn't it?
It
And I
is.
think if you've not driven an old car like these, then you do have to just have your wits about you a little bit, and there's no point herring down a road.
And the trouble on motorways, or big dual carriageways, is you leave what you think is enough space. So if he has to stop in front of you, you've got enough space. And invariably somebody will nip in because it's a big space. Because these days people drive, I think, way too close.
Way too close.
But the electric power steering, apparently it's done by an outfit called Easy Steer, who are at Chorley in Middle Lancashire. And he uses a system that's from a Renault Clio's.
All right.
And it's a neat little box which just fits inside the cab on the steering column. Yeah. So the only difference now is that whereas the horn used to be a push button in the centre of the steering wheel, because they put this on, it isn't. It's a red button on the dashboard. But I could never get the horn to work properly in the old 40-odd years I've had it. When it came back, it does. So it was a win-win.
It was a win, yeah.
Steering
Cloud
and
silver
horn.
linings and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. all I can say is that it's been an absolute privilege, an absolute honour to come here actually and see these amazing cars. I never thought I'd ever be able to sit in an original car that's been televised, so it just shows, you know, the power of what you can achieve if you really put your mind to it. But I have to say this, thank you, a massive thank you to Kevin, to Rob and to Keith for allowing me to come and film these amazing cars. Just want to say a massive thank you to you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.